At last night's Republican presidential debate in New Hampshire, the 7 candidates on stage did little to differentiate themselves from each other, but they all were competing for the best anti-Obama argument. Here's some highlights.
What this president has done has slowed the economy. He didn't create the recession, but he made it worse and longer.
This president is a declinist. He views America as one of equals around the world. We're not the same as Portugal. We're not the same as Argentina.
As President of the United States, I will not rest until I repeal Obamacare. It's a promise. Take it to the bank, cash the check.
The Obama administration is an anti-jobs, anti-business, anti-American energy, destructive force.
So what did our Washington executive editor Al Hunt think of the debate? Well, he joins us now. So, Al, what did you think of the performances?
Margaret, I had to go to a dinner last night, and I didn't watch it last night, but I watched it this morning, and it didn't get any better. There's a couple things that we learned. We learned that none of them think Barack Obama should be reelected. That's reassuring for the opposition party. They don't like Obamacare. We sort of knew that before. That nobody is for imposing Sharia law in America, and that Newt Gingrich will not have a member of al-Qaeda in his administration. Really not much of consequence, not much difference. If there were 2 winners, it was Mitt Romney, because he's the front runner and no one touched him, and Michelle Bachmann, you know, standing on that stage with 6 suits. She looked pretty good.
Yeah, your reference there to Sharia law, Herman Cain, that comment he made and then he stood by afterwards when reporters pressed him, asked him if it was a bigoted comment. Did he essentially blow himself up last night by saying that?
Well, you have to be at a certain position before you can blow yourself up, and so I don't think he's attained that position. He was sort of the outsider who, at a small debate in South Carolina, looked okay. I think once you got Michelle Bachmann on there, she appears like a much more serious person, because she is, that takes away the novelty of Cain. So I don't consider him much of a factor. Yeah.
Well, did you think Michelle Bachmann kind of won the war for the headline by announcing her candidacy during the debates there?
Yeah, I suppose, although we all thought she was going to run. You know, you and I have been talking about that for weeks. I think what she showed, and I don't mean this in a sexist way, but the comparisons to Sarah Palin are inevitable. And what she is the real Sarah Palin. She is, she's smart, she's tough, she has very, very conservative views, and she's walked the walk. And I think she's going to be a real force in this race.
Are we going to see Sarah Palin stand up in one of these debates next to her and make her own case?
I would be skittish if I were Sarah Palin to do that. I think Bachmann may be deeper. Her campaign manager, Ed Rollins, said that last week, got in trouble. But there's, as with much of what Ed says, it's too candid perhaps, but it's true. And I still think that Palin more likely is just to keep raking in the money and the attention rather than actually run.
Well, the president is headed to Puerto Rico. First trip, since John Kennedy. Why is he going now?
It's something called the Hispanic vote, Margaret, and Obama won it 2-1 last time. They want to win it even more this time. They think it'll make the difference in key states ranging from Florida to Colorado to Virginia even. And the Puerto Rican vote in particular is about 5% of the electorate in Florida. So this clearly is a trip with a very much a political domestic context.
Do you think there was any nail biting after last night's debate? Do you think the White House had much to say about the candidates and their performance?
Probably more champagne cork popping than nail biting, I would suspect. I don't think there was a great deal of fear put in the White House, but that's a mistake at this stage, because early debates never look really very impressive, and it's a warm up. It's spring training, as we said yesterday.
Yeah.
These people will get better.
Well, Al, as you're speaking, we're putting up live pictures of President Obama making that campaign stop in Puerto Rico, and he is being greeted by cameras and much excitement there. You can almost barely see the president through the crowd that's turned out to greet him in Puerto Rico. We've got to leave it there. As we said, first visit to Puerto Rico by a sitting president since John F. Kennedy.